I am here today with the Chief Vet of New South Wales, Joe Coombe, to advise the community that unfortunately we have found a suspected case of H5, which is the strain of bird flu that has just arrived in Australia for the first time over the last couple of weeks. It's a suspected case at the moment. It has tested positive, the bird has tested positive for the H5 strain of the virus. We don't know yet if it is the worst strain of the virus. The bird and samples of this bird have been sent to the National Testing Lab in Geelong through the CSIRO, and testing is underway at the moment to see what type of H5 this is that's been found in this bird. The bird is a wild bird. It is a wild seabird, a migratory bird that has flown in from other parts of the world. And a member of the public identified it as looking ill and did the right thing, called it into the hotline that we have up and running, that we ask people to use if they do see sick birds anywhere around New South Wales. The member of the public saw the bird near Hawk's Nest on the mid-north coast of New South Wales, called it in through the hotline, and we had government experts from National Parks and Wildlife assess the bird, take it to a vet, and take it to the New South Wales Government's testing lab at Elizabeth MacArthur Agriculture Institute at Camden. Those tests have been positive for H5, but again, we've now sent it to the National Testing Lab to see what strain of H5 of bird flu this is. That testing is underway. We expect to have the results of that at some point tomorrow, and we'll be providing information to the community about that once we have confirmation. I do want to be clear with the community. This is one bird, a wild migratory bird that has been found with H5 bird flu in New South Wales. That makes it 5 birds that have been confirmed with H5 across Australia, most of which have been found in Western Australia. There is no other birds that have been found to be positive of H5 at the moment, but we are now increasing our surveillance. We've trained up over 500 people, be them working for the government or private vets. Over 500 people are now working on surveillance, so they're checking this area of the state around Hawk's Nest and the mid-north coast and other high-risk parts of the state, looking for birds. That includes fisheries officers over the water, that includes people in national parks, that includes people in agriculture, looking for birds that might look ill so that we can see if there are any more. So that surveillance has been increased now and will continue over the weekend. There is, at this stage, no industry spread, so we've informed the poultry industry of this case that's been found this morning. We haven't had any reports of the poultry industry being impacted. The government is working very closely with the poultry industry, and we have been for some time. They are ready. They are ready for whatever scenario might emerge, and we'll continue to work with the public. So can I say to the community, biosecurity is everybody's responsibility. We've all got a part to play here. The government's put $10 million into the surveillance work and training up over 500 people to now ramp up this surveillance and look for birds. We have been working with industry to ensure that they're ready. But I would say to anyone, if you do see a bird that is sick, don't touch it, leave it, but report it in to the New South Wales Government so that we can get experts out to test that bird and go through the processes that we're going through now. So there's no need for panic buying eggs, keep buying chicken. There's no spread into our poultry industry in New South Wales. One bird that we are currently testing through the National Lab to see what strain of H5 it is. We will continue to work with the federal government. This is, of course, a national problem with most of the birds testing positive so far in Western Australia, a couple in South Australia, and now this one bird in New South Wales. And we'll continue to work with industry to ensure that industry is protected. I'll just hand over to Joe Coombe, the Chief Vet, to talk some more about it.
Thanks, Minister. Good morning, everyone. Yes, as the Minister's very well articulated, this is a suspect H5 bird flu case. It was a giant petrel. These are migratory seabirds that don't typically make land unless, of course, they are sick or have something wrong with them. And obviously this was the case. So the bird was recorded by a member of the public, which is great. They called the Emergency Animal Disease Hotline, which is 1-800-675-888. Yes, the New South Wales Parks officer then obviously went out and collected the bird, and it was sampled by the private vet that attended to it. Really, the Minister's covered everything. We have been preparing for this event for several years, in fact, since we had our H7 bird flu outbreak 2 years ago. We were all very aware that this was looming and that Australia was the last continent to have not had H5 bird flu. So we have, yes, trained up many members of staff across all different government agencies, including local land services, national parks, wildlife carers and some private vets. And so we have a great number of people we can now deploy to take samples if needed. Again, as the Minister said, this is an isolated case at this stage. As I'm sure you're aware, there have been other cases elsewhere, so we will be on the lookout. It doesn't mean it's going to be the last case, but at this point there is no evidence of spread to any wild birds. There's been no reports of mass mortality events that we've seen elsewhere in the world. And so, we'll wait for the confirmation from the National Laboratory, but obviously in the meantime, up our surveillance.